What is up, everybody? It's been a while since I've actually done a YouTube video that I've uploaded onto YouTube that's not a short or a live stream. In fact, this entire year I've not really been uploading videos. What is going on? I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the future of this channel. I want to talk about my trading, what's going on in my trading. I want to talk about the future of my prop firm, because I've attempted to start a prop firm that's made $0, and I've learned a lot from it, and I want to share some of those experiences. And then Tradecraft, my tagging software. All this stuff ties together, by the way. And just so you guys know, all the way until Monday, Cyber Monday, at the end of Cyber Monday, we have a Black Friday sale, 20% off all the products. So lifetime memberships, annuals, if you want to do a monthly or something, it's 20% off. Black Friday 25 in the coupon code. We are also going to be releasing something called Checkmate on Friday, which is a massive project we've worked on, which is basically a checklist, which may not seem that cool to you. However, you can build a full-blown trading system inside of it. So it can be as simple as you want or as complex as you want. And not only is it a checklist or a system builder, it's its own unique thing nobody's done. It will tag trades for you. So I had made this video some time ago called How I Make Trading Decisions. And I built this mind map. A lot of people really wanted this. Well, with the Tradecraft Checkmate system we're releasing, it is built node style like this. So you can make it look like this. You can actually make something that looks like this. It will also tag the trades. It'll build narrations for you, EV counts. So it'll count how many times something is being tested. So if you are trying to see if there's like 3 or 4 bounces on a VWAP indicator or something, Checkmate will do that as well. It also builds out a narration for you. It's super easy to use. It's one-click buttons. I mean, I might as well show you what it looks like on our platform. So it looks like this, and you can build the nodes out. There's all sorts of crazy features. Let me just run checklist. Are we in a range? Yes. You can see I've clicked it 17 times. I can change that over. Let's run it again. No. And then it just does all sorts of crazy stuff. You're going to have to watch the tutorials on it, but it's pretty sick. So you can build out these elaborate systems. If you're taking a setup, for example, and you try the setup, you know, maybe after 2 times, you're like, I don't need to trade this setup. Well, if you run through your checklist, you can have the checklist loop 2 times. Exactly. You can set that up. And the moment you get through and you're hit that second time, the checklist will branch off into a new one. And it's really simple to do. So Tradecraft does have a YouTube channel. Our tutorials are here. They're on the website as well. The website is going to be linked in the description, as well as the Black Friday coupon code, so you guys can take advantage of that. You're going to have to watch the tutorial on this. I'm going to do more content on actually building a trading system, because a lot of people have it in their heads and that's not good enough. Or they might checklist it like you should be doing. However, you can get it to actually tag for you. It's almost like building an algorithm, except for you're kind of doing it manually. Well, you are doing it manually. So this allows you to get statistics on what the hell's even going on in your trading. So I had to plug the Tradecraft thing there just so you guys can take advantage of the sale. So why am I not uploading videos? Let's talk about that. For those of you who are or not aware, there's something called coffee.com. I don't always plug it. I haven't been plugging it as aggressively as I used to. In my YouTube shorts I have, but on these full-blown videos like this, I haven't been plugging it. It's over 2.5 years of all my trades. They're all recorded. They're narrated. They're time-stamped, so you can go watch every single one of my trades for the last 2.5 years, 30 seconds before the trade. Then I review my sessions and then tag. There's also courses that I have built out. which I've been including with the price of the membership. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, you're just selling me shit right now. I want to explain to you what is going on with the future of YouTube and tell you about all the great free content that I do provide and how I'm going to put it under one house, okay? Because if you're also not aware, I post really good stuff on X. My handle is @RealFatCat1, but I post excellent shit. I love writing, okay? So coffee's going away. The coffee.com Fat Cats of Wall Street is going away. That is going to be done with, okay? It is like a Patreon. It is a place for content creators to host and sell material. So I had been building out these courses. Like, I've been building out a course, and then I've been just creating videos and shoving them into this course, and it's gotten larger and larger over time. Well, the problem is the way it's being posted on Coffee is the material starts to get buried over time because I can only post one video. So if I post a course module and then a narration and then a review, a narration, a review, a narration, a review, that course video gets shoved all the way down. And for somebody who's looking for all of the course material that they should watch in a specific order, it is just buried and it's really hard to find. And then I have to keep refreshing it. So it's been a long time coming. I've needed my own website. And due to the fact that I needed my own website is also a reason why I haven't really been posting a lot of content on this channel. There is a website now. It's called fatcatsofwallstreet.com. I'm still selling my narration reviews, and the courses are in there as well. Same product that I've always offered. The difference is when you go to the courses, they're actually streamlined. They're in the specific order. This tells you what the videos are. I've recreated a whole new course. Now, it's not like my dream course. It's not like this full in-depth A to Z course. This will allow you to understand how I trade, why I trade the way I do, what I'm thinking, the important things. It's a primer course, although it is several hours. It allows you to better understand my narrations, what I'm doing when I'm actually trading, and my review process. What I do is pretty sophisticated in a lot of ways because it's my own system, my own way of doing things. A lot of people can't just sit down and watch what I do and just it makes sense. The course is being built out. So if a subscriber asks for a video, I do make videos upon request, and then I'll shove them in here. So what you see now is not what it is. I've hesitated to make a course for many years, like a full-blown course. This is necessary for people to understand the narrations, but a full-blown course I've hesitated to do. I feel that I'm entering a part of my life where I could pull it off really well for you guys after trading for 9 years at this point. I don't particularly like courses. I have a video on why courses suck on this channel. Just look for it in the video section. It's a couple of years old. What I don't like about courses is, A, I'm evolving as a trader. I'm getting better as a trader. Therefore, the material in the course might be irrelevant at that point because my opinions on shit has changed. Also, market regimes are always changing. Did I film the course in low volatility or high volatility period? Because depending on what type of volatility is going on really will dictate the tempo of the course and shit. I think the best way to learn is just seeing my sessions from that day. To see how I'm adjusting, what I'm thinking about, my issues, how I'm fixing those issues, like real world shit. Because the problem with like influencers, which I don't consume trading content anymore myself really, But when I did, the problem with influencers or people in my place, you as the viewer, when you look at somebody like me, it just, there's something about it that doesn't feel real as far as like your struggle. It's unrelatable, if that makes sense. There's something about me and you that's unrelatable. But when you watch what I'm dealing with on the day-to-day, my struggles, when I'm upset, when I'm not upset, how I fix being upset, when you just see that day-to-day grind, the nitty-gritty, it becomes more relatable, and you can see what you need to do to make adjustments. And I just think seeing actual sessions and seeing the similarities between certain sessions versus others, because every trade's so different. Just seeing me talk about the same thing over and over, but it's done in a different context. It's just this repetition is what you need. You need to just keep seeing the trades, keep seeing the trades. How did I manage it? Why did I manage it the way I did? Every trade. That's where I think you're going to learn the best. However, I want to let you guys know that, oh, you can find everything for free on the internet. No, you can't. There's a demand for course material, and there's a demand for me to do it. I need you guys to understand that. People fucking shit all over it, but the loudest people in the room are the minority. I can tell you that. Because there is a demand for this, for education. You guys come to this channel, you're getting free fucking education in a sense. There's some sort of value you could be extracting from this. Some of you may not get shit from my channel. If not, okay. Your perceived value of the material I make on this YouTube channel is going to be different from one person to the next, right? Just because it's not as valuable to you, somebody else could see it differently. I know how everybody on the internet likes to be the official spokesman of other traders, which is like, who nominated you? Because I didn't get a fucking vote. So, why do people, when they talk, why do they put their fucking hands like this? That shit always drives me nuts. You ever notice that? Like, what the fuck does this mean? It makes me look like I'm a fucking, the president of the Galactic Empire or some shit. Some sort of alien species when I do this. I just thought about that because I've been watching a lot of Shark Tank lately. Anyways, we're talking about everything here. I'm having a heart-to-heart. I just want to talk about it all. There's a lot of things that could be redone. And quite frankly, when I make material for beginners, it performs the best. As much as I like making really sophisticated shit, it just does not appeal to most of you. However, I know there's a few of you that are the diehards, but in reality, I need to figure out how to cater to both. Making YouTube content for traders, it's not worth it in a lot of ways. The ad revenue is shit. It's going to be $80 this month. At the height of it, it could be close to 300, maybe 200, but 300 is like, I have not seen for years. YouTube did something, right? So making content and spending hours filming and editing and just like keeping up with it, it's not fucking really worth it monetarily wise, unless you have something else going on, like material, an affiliate deal, Tradecraft, something. That's when it becomes worth it. Because it, you know, look, if something's free, you are the product. Keep that in mind. Everybody who's doing this at some point has intentions. For me, it's a lot of things. For me, doing this job opens up doors. I hire out of my community. I hired somebody from my Discord to build Tradecraft. And the Fat Cats of Wall Street. I've hired 2 people through my fucking community. So, I mean, being involved in the community, it allows me to find people that I can work with, but it also opens up opportunities for you. I mean, if you're not familiar with my prop firm thing, I've coached traders for free. So I want to build a legitimate prop firm or do something. And this platform opens the door. This platform doing YouTube is opening a lot of doors. And I think shooting for retail trading consistency, can I go higher? So those are the intentions. And I'm passionate about talking about trading. I just enjoy talking about it, writing about it. Get paid for your fucking passions, right? I'm an entrepreneur as well as a trader. So kind of comes down to can you find everything for free on the internet? No, because I believe in adaptive market theory, not efficient market theory. Markets are always evolving, therefore new edges are coming out. There's an unlimited amount of edge. There's always a new edge. And the problem with all the free shit on the internet is it could be outdated or it doesn't work. And if you're a new trader, you could waste years of your life, years you're never going to get back, consuming free shit, and it's not working for you. So there's definitely a risk with the free material, or just figure it out for yourself, man. Okay, well, there's a lot of people that want some form of fucking guidance, because talking to an expert in a field can save you a lot of fucking heartache. It really can, and a lot of fucking time. I could go learn how to build a house, try to build it, or I can consult a fucking expert and know exactly what I fucking need. And AI is not an expert. It hallucinates and gives bad fucking opinions, and I wouldn't be any fucking wiser, right? Especially if I didn't know shit about building houses. And I do value my time, so I would hire somebody to build the house. There's a demand. There is a demand for trading education. There's a demand for me to do it. I intend on filling that. Whether you guys like it or not, I've been doing it, right? So the YouTube channel, people ask me, what should I watch of your videos? Is this still relevant? Is that still relevant? And I'm just like, oh, shit. Well, the best thing to watch is my narrations, because that just has the most up-to-date version of Fat Cat. Like, there's shit I posted years ago, and things have changed. Markets have changed. And the thing is, people ask me, where can I go learn how to trade? Whose education? Who should I watch? And it's funny that people come to me asking me for advice. Who should I learn from trading? It's like, well, me, but at the same time, I don't really have some good free streamlined shit for you guys that are trying to ball on a budget. I do, but it's like it's all over the place. It's not organized. It's fractured, right? I think the X posts. So I write a lot. And I post really good shit on x.com. So at RealFatCat1 right here. If you come in, man, I'm posting always Tradecraft shit, what I'm learning in my statistics, how I'm adjusting in my trades. That right there is an actual good setup. Just breaking down stuff that, and I make really good fucking sexy AI images as well. It's pretty hot. But anyways, there's good shit I'm writing and posting. And I think a lot of this material, honestly, if you put it together, it's almost like a fucking course. The problem with X is I'm limited on how many photos I can post. And I think there needs to be categories. So getting off X and writing my own blog on my Fat Cats of Wall Street website, which is a free resource for you guys, by the way. Good shit, too. And streamlining it with certain YouTube videos and actually building a free source of education, because there's people who like that and value that. Got to do something for the community. So that's also something that's going to be happening here is my blogs. You should read them. They're here for now. They're really fucking good. I like to write. I like to make screenshots. I think I like writing more than I do filming videos, to be honest with you. But also revamping the YouTube and redoing the how to read a DOM video, redoing a Delta video that I did a very long time ago where I talk shit about it. Now I actually like it. We'll talk about that later in this video, what happened. And just kind of going over the basics. And then starting to work my way into more advanced stuff. However, those videos are going to point to Tradecraft. It's going to point to the website. Currently, those videos don't. A lot of these videos also point to coffee as well, which is going away. So I just want to redo it. Redo the channel. Get rid of some of these videos that I think are no longer relevant. Remaster them. Have a good free resource on the website. Because look, if you're finding value in my free material, then there's going to be value in the paid material as well. That's the way I see it. Because I paid for a lot of trading education. I'm a believer in it. But you guys have your own opinions. That's fine. Also, like the trade tagging software as well. That nobody talks about trade tagging and how it can really make you better. It's my job to create awareness around this. Because I really fucking believe in it. It's really helped me improve. And if you guys really want to improve, knowing and understanding statistics in your trading, actual data when you're trading, not back testing, but when you're pressing the fucking button is very beneficial. It's just a tool I thoroughly believe in. Not to sell. Yes, to sell, but I didn't just create this product with money in mind, which leads us into the next topic, the prop firm. So all this shit is sort of connected. For those of you who are unaware, over a year ago I announced that I'm going to attempt to do a prop firm. Not an online combine. I needed to get capital from somebody else to fund you guys, right? I didn't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the combine where you pay for a tryout fee. If you pass, you pass. If not, you don't. If you pass, you get to trade my capital, the real markets, whatever. I don't want to do that. And it's not because the space is oversaturated, which the space is saturated, but I don't really give a shit because I could do it better if I went that route. But to actually make an actual prop firm where it's full-time coaching. And I've actually written a lot about it. Here. I've written a lot because I have a trader named Chronic that I have worked with, as well as some other traders, and I've talked about their struggles, what we're doing to fix their problems. Some of those blogs are actually on the Tradecraft website because there's a Tradecraft blog, and I'm going through their Tradecraft statistics. So like full-blown tier 1, I'm with you all the time. I'm your risk manager. Obviously, the psychology aspect is really big. Doing hypnosis sessions fucking works. We'll address that here later in the video. And getting a trader to make 6 figures. Now, when I started this journey, Tradecraft did not exist. I went to another journal provider and I said, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. Can I have a master dashboard so I can look at the statistics of other traders? They said yes. Then I asked them if Sierra chart users could be put on the platform. They said no. So I'm like, okay, this is bullshit. So since a lot of people are using Sierra charts, we're going to have to figure something else out. So somebody started coding a spreadsheet, and we were tagging with spreadsheets because I told all the traders that we're going to do this. You need to tag. Spreadsheets suck. They really fucking do. And it was just not going to fucking cut it for what I needed. So at the time, I had actually met somebody that offered me coding services. They built an indicator for me for free, a really good indicator. They did it quickly. Then they pitched me their services. I'm like, hey, this is a win. I don't know how to code. I can hire this guy to do shit for me. And then I pitched him the idea of building this journal. And I'm thinking, okay, well, if I got to pay him to build the journal, and we're building this for my prop guys, and it's my vision of it, might as well just sell it to the public, because I don't really like the shallow depth of all the other journals out there. They just suck with the tagging aspect of it. So it is very much my version. I use it too. There's a lot of people who build these journals that don't seem to use it. They don't seem to talk about their trading with it, how they're finding edges, what are good tags, which I talk about good tags on X, which tags you should be using. The creators of these journals aren't giving you good material to complement the journal, to help you develop in it, because you're just giving a platform, and then what do you do with that, right? So Tradecraft, and I made a video called Infrastructure. It was my second video after I announced the prop firm, and I talked about building Tradecraft. Tradecraft is a tool I needed for this prop firm. No intentions in building it, just doors opened up. And I walked down them, and now it exists. So really the intention, for me, trading is number one. And can I crack the code of getting other traders consistent? Because if I can somehow coach and get another trader consistent under my watch, and they consistently pull out money, that is huge. For one, it's just satisfying for me. It's like this itch that I need to scratch. Yes, money can come with it, but that is not at all the intention of it. It is simply being able to solve this problem. For me, trading is enjoyable because it's problem solving. It's a game. Money is just a byproduct of that. I've learned to just say that doesn't matter anymore. And the moment I let go of the money aspect, it got easier. However, a lot of people that are in this, most of you, that is the sole focus of it. And it's not going to fucking work if that's what it is for you, right? You got to understand how to perform and be passionate about it, and you get paid for good performance. So that's why Tradecraft exists. And it's a tool I need to help get guys consistent through my coaching. It's tools I wish I had many years ago, and we're designing it in a way to make it as easy and as efficient and as fast as possible to tag trades, to do all of this stuff. So it is an ongoing project. I don't think it'll ever end. And then having other traders use the same tags and getting similar results, that shit's interesting. Nobody's doing this. Like clarity. I've had 5 traders, including myself, tag clarity versus confusion. So when you're taking a trade, do you understand what's going on in the market? And universally, our equity curves almost always look the same. Clear trades perform. Confused trades are hurting all of us. So that tells us something. Take trades when you're absolutely crystal clear. Seems like common sense. But that is a necessary tag to have, because your problems are coming from a lot of different areas. Another necessary tag, for example, is like, did you just not see a pattern that you know about? Did you just happen to miss it and catch it in your review process? Or were you intentionally not gathering information before you put the trade on? Tags like that, or keeping up with your FOMO, your patience. Because the thing is, there are certain aspects of your trading that you're 100% in control of. And if you can learn to mitigate and stop doing those things that are intentionally hurting you, that you are 100% in control of, it boosts the equity curve in your trading. Although you're not 100% in control of the markets and all that shit, right? There are things you are in control of. So how can we be as effective as possible in those areas. And if we're really good in those areas, oftentimes traders can boost themselves somewhere around consistency. For me, part of the platform is gathering statistics on other traders so I can present that information to you guys and go, hey, this is what you need to look at. And it brings awareness. Because, you know, courses, education, that's great. I think that's important. It's my opinion, right? But in the end, you have to be a scientist and you have to look at your own trading. And too many traders are just not looking at what they're doing. Or they don't do as good of a job as they could. And because of that, you guys constantly make the same fucking mistakes. And then time is the most valuable asset you have. You're not getting that back. So I'm trying to solve a really big problem here. Okay? Like, I'm actively attempting to fix this. And if you're very familiar with all my content, you will see that. So I wouldn't put myself in the same place as other fucking influencers, even though I, at first glance, might look like I am just like everybody else, okay? Plus, Tradecraft, your support with Tradecraft also supports the free fucking content. Keep that in mind, right? If people like the product, I want to grow it more. I want to make it better. I want to sell more of it. Hire more people to help make it better. So it's kind of this little ecosystem. So as far as the prop goes, a lot of people ask me, how do I join? I required people to consistently tag and post their tags, their statistics from their journal. You don't have to use Tradecraft, but I want to see your stats in my free Discord, Wave 2. Only one guy's currently doing that. A lot of people have asked me, but until I see that you can actually put in the fucking work and just like tag, journal. If you can do that every fucking day, then that means you are doing the bare fucking minimum. If you can't do that, why the fuck would I want to work with you? I'm going to have to tell you to do that every goddamn fucking day? No, you should be doing this for yourself. And I may not even pick you if you've been posting shit for 6 months. But at least you're doing it for yourself, right? That was my bare minimum. You want to be a part of this, I don't care if you're consistent. Just post what your review process, your tags. That's it. Which I can tell you, people can do it. But then there's a point where a lot of people just stop. It's very rare somebody will commit to it and just keep doing it indefinitely. I just don't see that. Which just kind of goes to show you most people don't have what it takes, in my opinion, to do this job. Because they won't do that. And if I have to hold somebody accountable to do it all the time, that's a bit problematic. So with Chronic, when I took him on, he had less than a year of trading futures. As far as traders go, I would say when I first took him on, was a train wreck. Every problem you could imagine having in the book, he had. Other than he was relatively positive about a lot of shit. He didn't complain and bitch as much as other traders, which is really big. That's very important. You either see the glass half full or half empty. He's a half full guy, which is really important. He kept an account alive for 6 months. Now, it was like this, and it was trending downward with my coaching, by the way. And then one day he decided to trade a 2-lot mini and blew it, which I did not give him permissions to do. I told him, you must keep the fucking account alive as long as possible. If you keep it alive, we keep working together. Most traders can't do that, right? You guys blow it, churn these combines, blow it, churn the combines. Look, There's blowing accounts, there's consistently profitable. But in between, there's this floundering period where you're just fucking keeping it alive. You keep hitting with defibrillators. That's a necessary stage in between blowing them all the time and actually being consistently profitable. The keeping it alive for as long as possible. And a lot of traders can't do that because mentally you have this billing cycle. You can get a free reset. The combines are designed to fuck with you mentally so you don't keep it alive for as long as possible. You fucking redline your way into consistency. And look, if you're making withdrawals, but you're spending more money on these things, it's kind of like buying a scratch-off ticket. Mr. Beast spent $1 million on lottery tickets, and he only got 700-something thousand back, so he lost quite a bit of money. You're doing the same thing when you're buying these fucking combines, paying for a data feed, a charting platform. If you're not recouping the money that you put in, then you're still a negative expected value trader. And also, are you even making minimum wage? Right? If you're making minimum wage doing this job, it's not worth it. So when you get that payout, that's great and shit, but could you have made more doing an actual job? So with Chronic, has another chance. This is his last chance to work with me. But at the same time, I've learned a lot. Unfortunately, there is no YouTube video on how to get another trader consistently profitable. Nobody's really teaching this. How to be a great trading coach. I have to figure that the fuck out for myself. And that's going to be a lot of fucking failure. Which I don't like to use the word failure. It's going to be a lot of experience. Experience is what you get when you didn't get what you originally wanted. And that's for me to have a consistently profitable trader. Now, the thing with Chronic is he had a lot of fucking issues. He had childhood issues I had to work on through hypnosis sessions. I had a theory I could be a really good trading coach through my ability to do these hypnosis sessions. They work on myself, but can they work on other traders? The answer is yes. At least for Chronic. It has worked. I would say within the several months, we haven't worked together for a full year, but I don't know, 8 months or so. His growth compared to other traders, because I've ran trading communities since January of 2020, and I've watched traders grow at different rates. And it's not to toot my own horn, but Chronic, his growth was substantial compared to a lot of other traders. His growth in such a short amount of time was substantial. And the hypnosis sessions had worked because we had very specific problems and they got fixed very quickly. The problem is, in trading, just like every trade is nuanced, there's a lot of nuanced little issues going on with you guys, myself included. And identifying each and every one of those and fixing them is a monumental task. And when I'm working on childhood shit, it is very time consuming. I don't get paid for it. I get paid when he's making money. 50%. Right? But it's actually less because when we go through the futures desk, who's agreed for us to sort of do this co-account thing where they pay both of us, they want their cut. And their cut comes out of my cut. And I think it's only fair for the trader to have exactly 50%. And the futures desk's percentage isn't coming out on their side. It comes out on my side. So it's less I'm walking away with, right? But that's also a big risk for me. I put in so much fucking time. I put in a lot of time coaching different traders who disappear. One guy found a different opportunity with somebody else because I had him in backup position, right? Ended up going with somebody else and then came back. You know, if there's no loyalty here, you're done. Plain and simple. That's too much risk. There's a lot of risk of me putting in a lot of time for nothing, and I have. Now, the thing is, people have asked me about coaching. I refuse to do it outside of this sort of way I'm doing it now. I have done it in the past. I've gotten DMs where people have wanted me to coach them. It's $200 an hour. Like, I value my time. I'm not going to do this for cheap, okay? And I've had clients, but the problem is once I get my $200 an hour, what does it matter if you get any better, right? And also, I'm just more motivated to make a cut of what you're making with sustained ongoing coaching. Because I really believe you need fucking substantial amounts of hours of coaching to make it coaching even worth it. I think paying every now and then for maybe a hypnosis session or something like a hurdle you have, that could be okay. But for the most part, I think most traders need this ongoing accountability and coaching, almost like a full-time job, because you're more likely to do something for somebody else than you are for yourself. A lot of people are not self-starters. And if Chronic had paid me for how much coaching we've done, I mean, it would be fucking very expensive at this point. At a $200 price point, it would be fucking tens of thousands of fucking dollars. Way up there. God knows how much. 50, 100K, I don't know. It would be way up there. And not many people really have that kind of cash. Now, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of people with money that get into trading. I've met a lot of people who've sold businesses, are rich as fuck, that get into trading for whatever reason they want to do this. They're semi-retired or whatever. There's a lot of that clientele that exists. But on the other end of the spectrum, there's a lot of dirt poor people that are trying to fucking hit it big with trading. And then I would say there's the in-between. The problem with the current way of doing the prop firm, and I don't know if I'm going to continue doing it the way I've originally set out because I've learned a lot. Chronic not only was a guinea pig for me to figure out how to help a trader get better, but I had to learn how to do this, what works, what methods, what do I need to do. And it becomes a problem. It starts to interfere with my trading, which ultimately comes first. With Tradecraft, we built this master dash where I can watch another trader trading live, and then I can see their tags come in. I require the trader to tag psychology tags, contentment issues, calmness, patience, and they need to be on a loop timer, and they need to be tagging these things every 5 minutes. That way I can monitor their trades on one screen, and then I can see if any psychological issues come up. So let me break down Fat Cat's ideal methodology for coaching at this point in time. The trader checklists, and when we were building the checkmate system for Tradecraft, Chronic and I started to perform a little better just through the checklisting process. That's a little edge that works. Then pulse checking. So the trader takes mental trades, and they should take about 3 of these to see if they're clear, because clarity is an important tag on the market. And if they're right, how much are they average on right? 4 ticks, 3 ticks, 2 ticks, 8 ticks. If the trader is taking these mental trades and they're not right on any of them, their clarity sucks, they shouldn't trade. If they're got a good read, and assuming they're scalping, by the way, because Chronic was being groomed to trade exactly like me to scalp. Okay? It's going to be harder for me to coach somebody who's doing something completely fucking different. So if his pulse checks are good, he can trade. So checklist, pulse checks. That's something he has to do. Then as he's trading, if we see 2 losses in a row, we immediately stop the session, review the trades together, figure out the exact problem, then resume trading. I've noticed that if you can stop the session, review the session, like I'm taking 2 losses in a row, something's wrong. Figure out the exact problem, and usually in the review process, at some point you will figure out exactly the problem. You can go back in and make that adjustment. Because when I have losing days or it's just not working for me, there's something I'm not accounting for that once I do the review, I'm like, oh, fuck. That's all I needed to do. Then I implement it the next session. It works out. It's going to be better to just stop at mid-session, A, to prevent things from getting worse, and B, so you can salvage the day. It's all about risk control here, okay? Also, as I'm seeing psychology tags come in live, if he's getting frustrated or something, we need to immediately remedy that issue through breath work, a hypnosis session. It depends on the trader. It depends on the situation. But it's going to be some deep psychological thing I need to do. The problem with that is I need to monitor this shit, have the trader stop in the middle of the fucking session, fix the problem while trying to trade myself. It keeps breaking the context for me. And once I'm in flow state, I don't want to keep getting interrupted to fix another trader's fucking problems. That poses a big issue with one trader. 2, 3, 4 traders, that's a real monumental task. Especially if I'm not getting paid for it. Now, I'm more motivated to coach this way than getting paid per hour. I refuse at this point in time to coach for an hourly wage. I'm been asked by multiple people as of recently if I could coach them. I say no. I am turning down easy money because I don't want to fucking do it that way. If I'm going to do this, I want to do it the right way, and I want to go all the way. That to me is more motivating. If a trader's making 200 grand a year and I make 100 grand on my cut, right? That to me is worth more than taking on a fuckload of clients and making $100,000 a year on coaching for $200 an hour and working with fucking tens of 20s of 50s of traders. Because that's several different traders who I need to keep track of, figure out what's going on with them. And to me, it just makes more sense to have one trader produce. Because I know the trader intimately. It's just easier to deal with that one guy than a shitload of guys. Quality over quantity. So this prop thing sort of gets in my way. So after the session is done, the trader's work needs to be reviewed. Ideally, we need to review it together. And then after he looks at every trade, screenshots it, logs it, we need to do breath work on every trade. So we do these Wim Hof breaths, and then I do this subtle hypnotic thing on every single fucking trade, because that's how you really fix problems. So this is what you did wrong. Was it emotional? Did you just not see something? If you didn't see a pattern, they do their breath work, and then I have them visualize the trade over and over until they feel good internally. So these little visualizations can last maybe 5 minutes per trade. If you got 15 trades, you're talking a multi-hour fucking review session, right? Then ideally they need a full-blown hypnosis session. It needs to get recorded into an audio track, and then they need to listen to it at night. Those sessions fucking work. Chronic had several issues like catching knives and shit that through hypnosis we immediately fucking remedied. So it works. It works incredibly well. It's extremely time consuming. I got to put my heart and soul into these things, and I like freeball them almost. That it's very energy intensive for me to do. Now, it's one thing if I didn't trade, but I'm not in that position. And personally, I want to become a 7-figure trader. There are certain goals in my own trading I would like to reach. I don't want to just hang up the fucking towel and coach other people. But also me constantly developing as a trader myself is beneficial for the other traders because I know what's working right now. I know what's working for me. I know how adjustments need to be made. As I'm improving, I can teach that to the other traders. It's like a military leader. Men are going to respect the guy leading from the front than the guy fucking telling orders from the rear. If I'm jumping into the fucking trench with you, you're going to feel better about it. And it's going to be just more beneficial from an experience standpoint. But these two things clash. So what the fuck do I do? This is a problem I don't have an answer for. Gonna do another round with Chronic because he blew his account. He had to wait 1 calendar quarter before he could work with me again. And in 2 days, he can work with me again. November 28th. But then there were other issues. This year had been very pivotal in my trading. And because of that, I was having Chronic make a lot of fucking technical adjustments. And it kind of fucked with him. If I was having a bad trading session, he would start... There would be times where he would do really good, I would do really bad. But there would be times where I'm not doing good because we're talking during the session. You know, we're sitting there with each other. There would be times where I'm not doing good and I'm too focused on myself and I'm not giving him the care and attention I need to give him. So I need somebody else to actually be managing his P&L so he can get benched. There needs to be some form of risk management because if we can have somebody stop you from blowing up worse than you're already doing, do an intervention, you have a higher likelihood of not blowing up and coming back and doing better. If you guys can get that form of accountability along with the hypnosis, I don't see any reason you couldn't be a 6-figure trader. And this year was very revolutionary to my trading. I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video, because I want to wrap up this prop firm thing. So the deal with the prop firm is I understand why certain firms make you pay to try out. It's just easier to deal with a trader that can already do the work and that already has some form of risk control. They're consistent than taking a trader who has none of that shit, which Chronic was when I inherited him. I'm a car guy. It's like a project car. Do I go in a field and get a rusted out shell? And then I have to do rust remedy and fix a bunch of dents, do all this body work? Or do I go get a car as my project car that was garage kept and is in pretty damn good condition as my starting car? Rusty field car or good car with great body that doesn't have rust? That's less problems to fix. So therefore, I can get it to where I want it to ultimately be a lot fucking faster than the rusted out shell that has no windshields. I got to go source that. This car has intact windshields. I don't need to go find that. That is the difference between traders. It's the low-hanging fruit versus the fruit way up there. And quite frankly, I need to make money off of other traders' coaching because I've done a lot of coaching for free. And I simply am not making shit off of it. And it's not that that's a problem by any means, but my time is becoming increasingly more valuable. Tradecraft is more valuable. FatCatsOfWallStreet.com is more valuable. My own trading is more valuable. There's a lot of things I'm doing that actually is bringing money to me. And the prop thing is not one of them, unfortunately. And I knew it wouldn't work out the first year. I knew it would be very difficult. I have no problems with this. I am not complaining. But my priorities are starting to become a lot more clear at this point. Now I'm fucking doing this with my fingers. So I get why there's a tryout. That requires building a whole nother fucking platform, which to me, I think Tradecraft is more important than building a tryout platform where you guys pay to try out, you pass a combine, then you can work with me. I want Tradecraft to be a better product, so I rather have, while doing a combine probably would make a lot more money than Tradecraft, because who gives a fuck about tagging and journaling, right? For me, that tool just is going to help. It helps me, most importantly, and it can help other traders. But most importantly, it is helping me get better. So I rather put my focus into this right here than having another platform built. But I'm just letting you know I understand why there's a tryout fee. And if it does not work out with Chronic this run, there's one more trader. And if he's still doing his work, I might or might not pivot into this other trader. But again, I run a lot of risk because these guys disappear on me. Unfortunately, a lot of people who do combines, you guys are going to blow them. Yes, there is money to be made on those tryout fees. Let's not deny that, right? Yes, that money would be nice. However, with those blown tryouts, that money can solve a problem. That can go to somebody who can actually manage fucking traders. That can pay an employee to be a risk manager. That can pay somebody to look at this master dash, to see trades coming in, to see psychological tags coming in, and to start doing intervention. But then that poses a problem. Now I have this tryout structure. I open a floodgate. Now I could have hundreds of people doing this. How the fuck? And I'm just going to go out here. I don't think 100 people are going to pass it right away. But if I got to deal with 10 traders who passed it, how am I going to give all 10 of those guys the full accountability and attention that I mentioned ideally needs to go into one trader? With Chronic, you're talking about a fucking part-time job. Through the review work, through the hypnosis sessions, and then holding them accountable in the middle of a session. You're talking several hours per day. Now I got to give that to 10 traders or so. It becomes problematic. There's a logistical fucking issue here. However, with blown tryout fees, I can have the accountability person. However, I know a girl who I got certified with hypnosis in. She does hypnosis breathwork sessions, and they are amazing. With some of that money, I can pay her to do that part of the work. She can start to work with the traders and do the hypno breathwork sessions with the traders. So I can take the hypnosis and pay somebody else to do that part. And somebody else can do the risk managing. So there is, I'm just now thinking of that part with the hiring the hypnosis person. I just thought of that. So me just talking like this, I'm fucking cultivating brain power or some shit with my magic hands, right? So yeah, having you guys blow out allows me to pay other fucking people to cultivate good traders, because in the end, I think having traders who can make 6 figures, hopefully 7 figures one day, is a lot more valuable than just churning motherfuckers. And if I can take those success stories and show you that I can do this, I can make you guys good, not only does that build credibility, but you're just going to want to work for me. Or you're going to want to attempt. And if you blow the account, well, just know that pays the employees. So you're helping other traders out instead of just making some guy rich, right? Don't get me wrong, that will be a byproduct of it. And I don't mind making more money through different sources of income, okay? But for me, trading is passion. I want to make that very abundantly clear here. Hopefully my material reflects that with how in depth I get about this shit. Okay. So the whole fucking prop thing it's rough. It's turbulent. That's to be expected. I might have to make a radical pivot. So that leads me into the next thing. My trading. Really the final topic of this video. My trading has taken a shift. I've had conspiracy theories about the markets. Something about the order flow didn't fucking make sense. And the depth of market. I've been looking at a depth of market since the first day I put on a sim trade. I didn't even realize I was doing that. I went to this broker. They had sim trading. You got a 2-week trial. I kept telling them to refresh it. I don't remember who it was. And it's definitely a firm that you don't ever hear about, because this was back in 2016 or some shit. So I was trading on a DOM, didn't realize it, and then I learned about a DOM later. I'm like, oh fuck, I've been using that tool this whole time. I never have traded on a chart, ever. Something about the order flow over time just didn't make sense. Something about the time and sales didn't make sense. Had conspiracy theories about it, the manipulation. Started reading books, Flash Boys, which is about the rise of HFTs, and Flash Crash, about Nav Sorel, who was responsible for the Flash Crash because he was spoofing. He complained about HFTs to the CME for years, and they've done nothing about it. There's been a lot of things that have been proposed to regulate HFTs, and nothing is being done about it. Nothing will be done about it. I think my conspiracy theories on all this shit is its own fucking video that is going to be pretty long, which I plan on doing. Because I trade my theory and it's working. Obviously, there's more to it than a theory. But the manipulation is incredibly bad. And I've looked at Delta for a very long time. To me, it didn't make any sense back in 2018 or 2019. I don't know. I made this video a long time ago. It could have been 2020. I always had it up, but I'm like, fuck, it's diverging. Sometimes it goes up, the price goes down. Sometimes they go together. What the fuck? It's stupid. Little did I know, right? Experience is everything. Those divergences could be reloading, but then again, they could be spoofing as well. So I started noticing that the overall market orders on Jigsaw's power meter, which I have an affiliate link to Jigsaw, I still use it. Save like $30 on it, link in the description. I don't ever plug it. I still like the platform. I trade on 2 different PCs. I have a Jigsaw PC. So I'm looking at the power meter. I'm looking at the total market orders come in, and I noticed that they almost always balance. Then I started looking at time and sales, individual time and sales, like 1 lots, 2 lots, 3 lots, and I just noticed these patterns of how these orders would balance and shit. I started to realize that a lot of the volume was short term, which makes sense because HFTs account for more than 60% of total volume and HFTs scalp. Therefore, most of the order flow coming into the market is already flat. So when you're looking at a volume profile or a footprint, you think somebody's building a position, but 60% of that, maybe more, could already be flat because it's been scalped. Or you just have hedge funds who are flipping positions, and they're not really building a position because they probably have another position that's making them money somewhere else, and they just keep flipping it. So it's really hard to gauge what is happening to see if somebody's building a position. Spoofing is definitely still there. It still happens. The whole level 2 is an illusion. You know, they're at the average contract size could be 30 lots, maybe 60 in ES. It depends on volatility. Right now, volatility is high, but that's never what's traded. Everybody's trading at the very last nanosecond, so either the spread reloads or spoofs. And that's to prevent HFTs from front running or some other algo to fuck with you. So making your decision at the very last moment in time makes sense, but level 2 is mostly an illusion. Yes, there's occasionally a large order that sits out there that does get hit, like a 500 lot or 1,000, but that doesn't mean shit because the market can hit it, go through it, bounce off of it, never hit it. I mean, it really is a coin flip, just like a fucking indicator would be, right? So I read Anna Cooling's book on volume price analysis. The DOM has a feel to it. I think the depth of market is useful, but it actually, and knowing your Q position is the most useful thing there is, or the pacing of it, but trying to read that order flow is fucking virtually impossible on a depth of market. And you got to realize that these algos and HFTs are looking at that information. So it's all manipulated and fucked up to make it intentionally difficult to read. So Anna Cooling kind of confirmed my theory with market makers and all this shit that there really is some shit going on. So I started looking at volume price, adding volume histogram with price action because I was mostly focused on price action. It made sense. And I've tried it in my early career where I looked at volume price analysis, you know, just traditional histogram. I learned it when I first was getting into trading, but I'm like, hey, I should revisit this with a lot of experience because I'm looking at price action. Price action matters a lot. If I can complement it with volume, it just makes sense. Started to realize volume histograms are highly manipulated, and the way she taught it, I don't think is relevant, at least in the ES, and there's reasons for this. I've talked about these theories in my why order flow sucks. I have two videos. Recommend them. They're a couple years old at this point, but I still believe in my theories, and I've been trying to figure that out this entire time. And my trading has been substantially smoother. My trading is incredibly smooth. Don't get me wrong, when there are periodically weeks of turbulent trading, but then I figure it out. And that's what's great about the X post, because volatility has recently shifted, and I'm explaining the turbulent trading, and you get to see these periods of turbulent trading and how I solve the fucking problem, which is great. I don't know if anybody else is doing that, but you get to see my struggles and how I fix it. And hopefully that inspires you to do the same. It becomes relatable. Instead of, oh, look at how much money I make, you get to see the problems and how I fix it because you have problems and you need to fix them. And it's relatable. So I started to realize there were patterns in the delta. These reclaims, it would reclaim like price action, but it would obviously diverge from the price action. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But this had to have been maybe 2 years ago. Kind of put the delta down. Read this volume price analysis book. Did a lot of testing and shit, and I realized that a lot of the volume is wash traded. two-way volume doesn't really exist where bid and offers are being hit at the exact same time. If it did, you could scalp for a tick, which is something Gary Norton always preached, two-way volume. It does not exist in ES for the most part. One price has volume hitting, barely any volume hits above and below. And then you have hundreds of lots on one price, so it's like buy orders, ticks up, sell orders. And it's almost like they're wash trading or canceling themselves out. Now, is it intentional wash trading? I don't know. But HFTs, they like to front run. And since the markets are heavily arbitraged, where everything is influencing everything else, and as the algos get better, they keep the markets tighter. So everything really is influencing each other. Russell moves with ES. A lot of people gave me shit about Russell. They're like, oh, Russell is not a good correlation. It's like, I don't want full-blown correlation, but they do sync up at times. And the way I use correlation is different. I'm trading my setup on multiple markets, and if those setups align, I should get a super signal. And when volatility was really low this one year, it was like in the summer, I started looking at Russell and NASDAQ, and they would all sweep at the same time. I've made correlation videos, and I made a correlation video on this channel, why Russell is good. And then I show it happening. People thought I cherry-picked shit, but it continues to happen to this day. I just happen to pick the most recent session. When I share trades and footage of stuff, I just pick the most recent thing. Right? I don't go back several months like some other channels. SMV. Good channel. But something I've noticed. Anyways, HFTs are front running, so they're looking at this bid offer pressure, and they're looking across all these products, and they're making decisions. And I think they're taking a lot of break-evens these days, which creates the illusion of wash trading. Although wash trading, the market makers could be doing this to create artificial volume, which A, hides reloading, so you can't see true reloading through the wash trading. And yeah, this is really sophisticated shit. And this is why one day I'm going to make the dream course to really break all this shit down and simplify it. Because I think this is important. Because I think a lot of stuff people teach or trade is just simply outdated. I think you guys are fucking more than a decade behind of what's really happening. ES could be moving because of these other products. If you watch Bitcoin futures, oftentimes it doesn't move on its own order flow. The bid-offer spread just pulls, and it moves with occasional contracts hitting. What's moving because of the actual Bitcoin on actual crypto exchanges. ES is most likely moving the same way. It's moving because of these other products. So there could be this illusion of spoofing or whatever, and while ES does spoof, there could have been real order flow hitting in another product. A lot of traders ask me, is correlations relevant? Do you think it's still relevant? Absolutely. The problem is my current trading has been so labor intensive that if volatility picks up, it's really hard to maintain multiple markets and just, I can't have context. So I want to pick up on this a little bit later in the video because I want to circle back. So I noticed with a lot of the order flow coming in, it is balancing. I noticed the deltas would hit reclaims. So there is a order flow pattern going on. Something with the inventory balancing, which makes sense because market makers don't give a fuck about direction. Neither do HFTs. HFTs are like retail traders. They're not committed to large size. They trade one lots and shit. But they trade it far faster than us and far more frequently. And that is the best way to do it because they're not getting trapped into large positions. Also, market makers, they're just balancing their inventory. If there's too much demand, they can... HFTs and market makers fuck with low-frequency traders. That's how they make money. And these HFTs, They're making billions of fucking dollars a year and they don't have losing years. So where's that money coming from? Us. Pension funds. Low frequency traders. It's coming from us. So it is a predatory game. It's about fucking both sides and creating illusions that something is going to happen when it doesn't happen. And it is, according to Flash Boys, toxic order flow. High frequency trading creates toxic order flow, and we were born into a world where we don't know that. If you were born in a prison, you wouldn't know you were in a prison. But if you knew you were in a prison, you would do everything you could to escape it. We don't know what, most of us don't know what pre-HFT order flow looked like. If you read Flash Crash, Nav Sorel explains it in that book. And you can see the transition of when HFTs came online and completely changed it. The order flow is toxic. This is why it's so horribly choppy. And it's so hard to get a long-term read on it. Now, I noticed with this balancing effect, I wanted to remove this wash trading. I noticed there was a lot of wash trading coming in. So I tried to vibe code with AI a way to remove the wash trading. And then one day I'm like, oh, fuck. It's essentially Delta. I'm trying to recreate Delta. And then I had a new perspective, a new angle on Delta. It's kind of like a magic trick. You see the magician saw the lady in half. And you're like, holy shit, it looks real. You can see that magic trick over and over for like all your life. And you just don't get it. How's that being done? And then the magician shows you how the secret is done. And once you know how the trick is done, it just takes on a whole nother meaning. Taking Delta and just looking at it from a different perspective with different experience completely changes the meaning. There's a lot of things that are right under your nose and you don't realize it. You just have to move this way. And then all of a sudden, it means something completely different. This is why when I talk about courses, you may not see value, but somebody else does because they are looking at it from this angle. And you're over here. Same thing with the Delta. So I'm like, shit, the Delta removes the wash trading. It shows outstanding volume. I can see the spoofing because I'm looking at price to Delta relationship. Because think about it this way. If the DOM, let's look at 5 prices on the offer. If each one of those is 100 lots and the bid offer is not pulling, then it should take 500 lots to move the price up. So we should see the Delta hit 500 to see 5 ticks go up. So the Delta bar in the price bar should have roughly a similar size. Rising volume on the Delta, 500 contracts, and you have 100 lots at each tick. Therefore, the price should move exactly the same. So there should be some form of a similarity in relationship. If you're seeing large Delta, small bar, that's reloading. If you're seeing a little bit of Delta, big price action, there's spoofing, there's pulling going on. And that's hard to remember on a DOM. Seeing the reloading, seeing the spoofing, yeah, you can see it on a DOM, but to internalize it, remember it, where did it happen, it's going to be easier to see with your Delta to price action relationship. So a lot of things are kind of coming together for me. Might be obvious to some of you, but some of you maybe not. For those of you who are like, yeah, no shit, Fat Cat, why don't you fucking tell me? I had to figure it out for myself, and I'm just sharing that. And this is new information for some people. This is going to pivot somebody's trading. So as time progressed, I started to realize that within the Delta, big traders, large traders, because if you're seeing like 300 Delta buy or sell, you can watch my YouTube shorts. That's real outstanding volume. That was not reloaded or anything. There is a real outstanding order of buy that happened right there. And until selling happens, it's kind of like open interest. It's a way to see open interest. If we could see true open interest, are these contracts opening or closing, it would make it a lot easier, but we can't. Yes, you can see it in options oh, there's open interest. The problem with the open interest in options is that's reported at the end of the day. And then that open interest does not trade during the session. So a lot of that open interest could be closed and you don't know it, but you're still trading an open interest level that's reported once a day. That's not good enough information. I need to know it now, especially as a scalper. So the delta's helping me see the open interest. And a lot of these large traders, especially HFTs and all that shit, they trade like us. Their stops are tight and they're trying to take break evens or whatever. So you can see a lot of these large traders get fucking stopped out. It's amazing how you can see it through the delta or variations of the delta. This whole fucking thing and fitting it together just revolutionized my trading, made things way smoother, because now I went from like trading mostly price action for years to complementing it with volume. Yes, the DOM, but that's a little different. Chronic got caught up in this cycle. So I'm like, oh, fuck, dude, this is happening. And then I got to explain all this shit. And he's just like, you know what I mean? So that's going to cause turbulence in his trading. Now, this is where things get interesting. I can't code for shit. Vibe coding is absolute bullshit, in my opinion. Could learn how to do it for free on the internet, right? Yeah, but I'd rather just pay somebody than fucking spend months trying to build something. Okay? I value my time, and I'd rather go live life than attempt to be coding some shit up. And through having a community, people bring me opportunities, which in turn gives them opportunity. So if you're going to be part of a trading community, get fucking involved, because it can open life-changing doors. Or you can be a dirty lurker. I don't really care. So I need automation. My workload is intense. And when volatility kicks up, I'm like really trying to keep track of all this shit. And the problem is, like, I'm too busy playing Bob Ross, painting my charts up, that I can't build context. Therefore, I can't really be as clear with my pulse checks. I can't get as deep into flow state as I would like. Then I see the trade. I take the trade. Then I have to manage the trade, but then the setups are changing. New information is coming in, but since I'm trying to manage the trade, I can't keep up with the chart. I can't maintain it. Hey, these areas are no good anymore. This is something's developing here. And then I flatten the trade, and then I got to spend a couple of minutes trying to keep up with it. It's a lot of work on just the ES. It needs to be automated. It is being automated. I have something that's being built. I've been testing it. It's broken, but it definitely is helpful. This is going to be very beneficial. Yesterday, I started testing it across correlations, so NASDAQ Russell, because I do a lot of testing, drilling, in between my actual trading sessions to get better, and it was working really fucking well. Ideally, and that's always been a theory, just like the hypnosis, I think I can make traders better with hypnosis. It works. It makes them better, but does it make them consistent? No, it makes them better faster, which could make them consistent quicker, right? My theory is correlations. So looking at all of the ES products, MES, ES, SPY, the current options, you have to use Opera data, but you got to look at the 0 days and you got to look at the current strike. The strikes are always moving. Every strike is its own mini market. Every strike has its own depth of market. I have a options for dummies video on my channel. Go watch that. It explains it. But looking at all those products, looking NASDAQ, looking at Russell, looking at stocks, which I've done before. Maybe that's too much. I noticed that the signals need tuning and shit. Like there's certain, like I have a minimum delta threshold I'm looking at. Volatility changing does fuck with that signal. There could be a point where there's too much delta confliction across too many markets. There's problems. There could be problems. But using just NASDAQ, Russell, and ES, it works pretty well, which has always been a theory. So I met some guy who's been watching my material for years. He's worked for banks and shit, being a risk manager, and he codes in C, which is really important for automation. He wants to help me automate what I'm doing. He doesn't want to learn all of the knowledge that I have. He wants to tell me exactly what to do. Like, I tell him exactly what to do. He just builds it. Instead of me just giving him this full spiel education and theory. Build this. This is what we need. And he just wants to leverage my expertise. And then I leverage his ability to code. I think the best trading teams, like Jane Streets and all that, they're teams. The people who are dominating markets these days, because there's so much technology. And since there's so much technology, for example, I use F1 as an analogy. Back in the day, a couple guys could build a race car in the 70s, right? Now you need a whole team. You got a fucking engineer, aerodynamist. You got engineers for just the brakes. Now they have all this telemetry data. You got to have a guy that knows the telemetry coming in. The teams have gotten larger. Trading is getting more sophisticated. It's getting more technologically sophisticated. I think in order to dominate it in it, you have to start working as teams. While it's possible as a sole retail trader, I think there's going to just be better odds of leveraging different skill sets and putting it under one umbrella. So this guy's a master with C. It would take us both a decade to learn each other's skill set, which by that time I'm going to be a decade older. And why not just leverage his ability? So I hope you see where I'm going with a lot of this. It falls under the education or figure it out for yourself. You could. And if you got the free time and no money, then you have no choice. Either way, I mean, people are okay with blowing money on combines. But fuck education, right? But I understand there's a lot of shit out there. I get it. So C is going to be really lightweight and fast for algorithmic trading. But what we're trying to do is get it more bionicle. So one block at a time, one stepping stone at a time. I think with this guy, we're going to be able to start getting signals and generating them from correlations, because I do believe the market moves as one entity across multiple products or influencing other products. And if I can just see setups, my setups in all of these markets at once, the best setups, which I have statistics on, I know which setups those are. I write about them on here. You can go read. 4 factors of support, multiple factors of support is huge. It's been a big tag, and I tagged MFS for a long time, but now I'm trying to figure out how many factors of support. 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 is the magic number, is what I'm starting to see. With the power of Tradecraft, I've generated those tags so I can see it. Let me actually show you guys. Those aren't familiar. So these are my MFS trades. This isn't all of them, but this is just an example of the tags. These are the tags. 0 MFS confliction zones where there's a lot of like heavy deltas meeting in one area. 4 and up. That's where it's at. Here's the full blown MFS tags currently. We have 62 4 MFS. You can see I'm really trying to nail those down. They're working the best. The 0 line is right behind my, it's this line right here. It's behind my head. So you can see this, these are under the 0 line. So 3 MFS, which is turning upward, which is interesting. was sort of the cutoff. Confliction zones are killing me. 0 MFS doesn't work out. You have other shit like 1 MFS. But you can see I don't have a high enough sample size. But I'm trying to just stay here because this is what's working. You can see that right here with 8 multiple factors of support, which is currently the highest I've gone up to. If I ever have a 9, I'll add it. But that one is performing really well. You can see the curve on the 6 MFS is very aggressive. 5 is sort of aggressive. It's trailing with the 4. So I know what I need as far as MFS goes. And getting all these areas to align in multiple products and automating it so I can be a hybrid trader. So I can get these signals. I can do it by hand, and then eventually we'll try to get it automated. And this is where everything can change. This is where 2 doors open. Do I continue to teach somebody like Chronic? Give them the technology. That would be good, because if I give you guys technology, you're not going to leave me because you don't have this technology. You only have it with me, and you're using that to make money. And you got to understand, I need security of some sort. I can't teach a guy who disappears. It's too much fucking risk. But if I give you something that you can't get anywhere else, I'm keeping you on my titty. But you got to understand that I'm raising you, and I'm making you good, and I'm making you live your dreams, or helping you, I should say. So it has to be a fair relationship. But I need that security because people leave. I've experienced that. And having technology to help the trader is just good, right? That's the difference between the prop firm I'm trying to build. Is I want to give you guys what I can to help you. I want it to be a professional prop firm, not a bucket shop. But I understand why payout for tryout exists at this point in time. So that door can exist, but if this becomes something that becomes fully automated, I won't really need hand traders. And I'm going to walk down whatever fucking I'm walking down both of these pathways. Okay? One of them is going to probably start to make more sense at a certain time than the other one. And when that happens, things are going to change. Obviously, with the path of automation, the people I need on the team are going to be different. It's going to be the more quant types. People who are good with machine learning, statistics, and shit like that. I'm not going to need the hand trader. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. So things can change, and at that point, when you have algorithms making money, that's when you have to get hush-hush, right? That means this channel could start to die at that point. Or I just can't be in every market at every point in time, that I get the hand traders to specialize in certain markets. This guy trades NASDAQ. This guy trades Amazon. We use the technology in it. I just train bionic traders. I don't know. But there's 2 pathways opening up. So the prop thing could change. And I'm excited about the automation. It's about fucking time. Because this is something I've complained about for some time. I need tools. And I just needed a community member to be willing to do this. And some guy had the idea and was willing to do it. And that's going to create an opportunity for both of us. So that is what is going on currently in my trading. There is no Black Friday deal on the Fat Cats of Wall Street website, so you know. I don't discount that. However, keep in mind you have the Tradecraft. And with that being said, I will see you in the next video.